Today is a new opportunity to accomplish your incredible. So let's wake up each day with a fresh mindset necessary for you to win. I welcome you to Rise and Shine. Morning motivation for the girl boss with author, speaker, and founder of the Prestige Society, Nicole Doss. Let's jumpstart your morning now. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and rise and shine. I know it's been a little while since I spoke with you guys, but we talked a little bit on Friday. I made it really quick, straight to the point. Monday, I wanted to make sure that I spent some time giving you guys some nuggets over with our Pink Radio with Prestige's Girl Boss Girl Talk. But now I am back to my rise and shine girl bosses. So listen, I won't waste your time. Let's jump right into it. Today's word is agility. So here's the thing. I, in my personal life, have realized that every time I have gotten to a point where I have made plans, I have been pleasantly surprised at life just taking me in a different direction. What I learned is the importance of being agile, the importance of being flexible, and the importance of understanding and trusting God's plan over any plan that I may put or decide or design over my life. And that takes a lot of growth because normally what ends up happening is that when you are so caught up in the plan that you created, when you are so determined to have an outcome based on your expectation without really giving any appreciation to your higher power having a greater design in store for you, then normally what ends up happening is that you deem that particular experience a failure. What ends up happening is that you then feel as though you experiencing something that's not in alignment with your expectation means that you are not a success. What ends up happening is that you become so closed from everything going on around you because of the fact that you feel that thing that you thought was going to happen didn't happen, that now you are sleeping, unaware of the awesome things that are happening around you, and you have blinders on. So you aren't even able to take advantage of the blessings that are right in front of you because you're too busy being upset that something did not turn out the way you anticipated. Here's the deal. Now, you know I like to Medea up a scripture, so I can't even tell you what book it is. All I know, it says, many are the plans that I have in store for you, and I'm trying to think of the second one. Oh, it says something about how, man creates plan, but it's God that basically has a greater plan. And so I'm going one day write down these scriptures ahead of time and get the books and get everything, but listen, the point isn't the scripture. The point is get the point. So the point is, when you are so caught up in the plan, you're going to really miss out what God has in store for you. So, I recently have been introduced to just different things happening in my life. I can't share it just yet, but trust me, y'all, when I do, y'all gonna be like, what, that happened? So I have been, and the thing is that when that thing was introduced to me, it did not look like what I anticipated. It did not look like what I planned for. It did not look like what I had envisioned for my 2019. It did not look anything even in the same arena as what I have planned and what I've been growing. But what I realized is that at the core of both things that are going on right now with me, at the core of it, the cool thing is that it is directly in alignment with what the core of my messaging is about. It's in direct alignment with who I am at the core of who I am. It's in alignment with my brand. But it doesn't look exactly like it. It's kind of like, when you shop on Amazon and you had in mind this dress you were going to get. And the thing about shopping on Amazon for clothes, I'm gonna tell you because I do it all the time, is that if you do not read the reviews, if you don't really pay attention, then you can get one or two outcomes. One outcome can be the sleeve is now coming out of the neck, the hem is completely not sewn, and it just looks completely different than the dress, and you are disgusted and upset. Or you may find that even though it does not look exactly like the picture, that when you put it on, you actually like what you see and it's a keeper and you're not ready to return that item. That's what happens when we make plans in our lives, when we make plans for our business. When those plans come into fruition, the outcome may either be in alignment to your expectation or not in alignment to your expectation. And because of that, it drives and sparks a certain reaction that may cause you to really figure out, whether or not you're going to send the dress back or you're going to keep it and make it work. And of course, sometimes when it's so far off and it's disappointing or it's a traumatic thing, yes, that's the point where, your sleeve is coming out of your neck and you want to return the dress. But when the dress does not look exactly like the picture, but when you put it on, it actually looks pretty darn decent. That's when those things in your life happen where it's not in alignment with how you pictured it. But when you take a closer look at it, when you actually take a moment to try this thing out, when you take a moment to say, hey, could this really work? That's when you realize, hey, this isn't so bad. And this actually is a keeper. Like, I'm actually blessed. So that's what you have to realize about all these plans you're making. And of course, I am the girl who believes in making a plan. I write plans every single day. But what I plan for are goals. And what I pray for when I write my goals is that God allows me to work in my purpose and that He orders my steps and that those steps that He is ordering is according to His will and not my will. And that's very important for me because as I continue to move on, I'm realizing as I'm knocking out these goals, as I'm working on my business, as I'm growing in my business, as I'm, being so blessed to be introduced to new arenas within my business, as I'm able to allow other women to experience success with their businesses, as I'm, supporting those in my, very close circle with their businesses, as I'm supporting those in my own home with their business, it may not look like what I thought it was going to look like. That doesn't mean that something's successful or not successful. It just means it's not part of God's plan. And the only thing that I'm responsible for is to being obedient to how He orders my steps and continue to walk that walk, to continue to work my purpose. And so agility is the word of the day because you have to be absolutely agile, absolutely flexible as you are on this roller coaster of entrepreneurship. So let's just jump into our 3 steps of how you are going to be agile today. So the first thing I want you to know is that everything that you plan is a blueprint, not a guarantee. I'm going to say that again. Everything that you plan is a blueprint, but it is not a guarantee. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. You can create a blueprint of what you think it should be. You can create what I love to call a proof of concept of what you would like to see as far as your business goes. But whenever you're creating these kind of documentations and you're going through certain levels of approval, or when you're working through and trying to take something from concept to fruition, you realize that a document may be a living, breathing document. When we say a living, breathing document, especially in design terms, it means that it has the ability to change and flex before we get to the point that we're having final approval and it's time for us to build, right? So with that, you really want to make sure that you realize that although you're sitting here and you're making these plans and you're slaying these goals, this is just your blueprint. It's a living, breathing document. It's a living, breathing plan that has the ability to change at any given moment. The question is, when it changes, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to flex? How are you going to exude your agility to make sure that you're able to really Be obedient in this walk of your purpose-driven business. Next is what? Being flexible. Super easy with the number 2. And what does that mean? That means that when things do not turn out in alignment with your expectation, take a moment and reflect and learn and see if this is something you're really supposed to be doing. If this is the thing that really is supposed to be for you, so that you can go ahead and continue to walk in your purpose. If you shut down because something does not look like the way you want it to look, there's an opportunity that you may be missing. There's a blessing that you can be blocking. Do not block your own blessings and be flexible. And the third thing is trust the process. And the way that you trust the process and you're able to discern whether or not the steps that you're following are correct and right for you is by staying in constant prayer and meditation. God is going to lead you. And if you do not hear his voice, keep coming back. And if you don't hear his voice, it's because he wants you to keep coming back and keep being obedient and keep trusting that he will show you the way, right? So make sure you tap into that, because I'm telling you right now, if you lean on your own understanding, you are going to be the most frustrated entrepreneur out there. So please, 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 please get your spiritual life while you're really on this journey, because you're going to need it. You're going to need faith, and you're going to need faith in something so much greater and so much more powerful, and than just you and your narrow frame of reference. That's not shade, that's fact, right? Like we are only limited to the frame of references that we have experienced in our lives, and we need to hold on to something that is greater than just us. So with that, ladies, I hope you have a wonderful, powerful, awesome, and yes, blessed day. As you remember that the first thing you're going to do is remember that everything that you plan is a blueprint and not a guarantee. And once you've come to that realization, I want you to exercise your agility by being flexible. And once you're done that, trust the process. God's got your back. All will be well, I promise you, even in those darkest moments. All right, girl bosses, have a wonderful, awesome day. Bye.